10.
Hello, wrestling fans across the globe. My name is Kyle Crosby, alongside my broadcast colleague Michael Malley, aka Maggle, and it is the Wrestlemania edition of the 10 Count Podcast. And what a WrestleMania week it has been, with teasing vignettes, hype videos, and special announcements. It has been a crazy week in the world of professional wrestling, namely in WWE. Lots and lots of matches to look forward to this Sunday. So let's kick things off with the Cruiserweight Championship match. Austin Aries versus Neville. I'm going to go with Aries here, man. I have spoken on many podcasts saying how much I love Austin Aries and his mic work and his in-ring performance. And I know, Maggle, I speak for you whenever I say the same. You love Austin Aries. Both are in the same class. Both have two totally different styles of entertaining these fans. And it is going to be great to watch. Hopefully, Austin Aries raising that big, beautiful purple belt over his head. And personally, I'm just glad that they didn't stick Austin Aries in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Because as you know, I know, and I'm sure everyone listening knows, that is where they take used up talents that they don't know what to do with. They shove them in there, and they put someone like Sami Zayn to overcome the odds, or a Braun Strowman to just destroy everything possible in that ring. Who do you think is going to come out on top of this year's Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal?
You know, that's a tough decision, or that's a tough prediction, because there's so many, and so many have not been. We know that as of right now, Big Show, who just came back from a comeback, you know, he's leaned up. He
the man
good.
cut so much weight.
That's
Have
right.
you seen him? He is jacked. It makes him intimidating more, but I digress.
He's shown a solid factor against Braun Strowman, which is the next person I was going to bring up, is Braun. Braun is the heaviest hitter within that. He is, if not my top 3 of who's going to win that match, because he's a beast. He's a beast, and he needs that win. He needs that win to return to his dominance on Raw. Then you have Sami.
Oh, damn. I thought you were going to say Fandango.
Fandango! What? And then, of course, you have Cruz and Raleigh and everyone who sanctioned in that tag match on SmackDown. But I'm gonna go with my pick. It changed so much this week because of who's been added to it. And I forgot, the new Chinese wrestler from NXT is going to make his appearance in there.
Yes, and for all those fans listening who did not know, WWE will have their first ever Chinese-born superstar to wrestle in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
At WrestleMania, that's incredible.
At WrestleMania, wow.
My pick, though, is going to be Zayn. I think it's going to be the feel-good story of WrestleMania.
Where do you think they're going to take him from there? You think he's going to receive a major push? Because I see a lot of posts. A lot of people love Sami Zayn. I am not as much of a diehard fan as most people. I do respect what he does in the ring, and I think he is entertaining. I just, at the moment, after his previous losses, I just don't see a world title push for him.
I think they're going to pick up from Raw, and I think they're going to have Zayn versus Owens for who I think is going to win the U.S. title later that night. I think they're going to have that. They're going to
Pump the brakes, Michael! Pump the brakes! We got a whole show to fill. We will talk much more about KO later on.
But I think Zayn is going to continue his feud with Owens. And I think that's where it's going to lead. I think it's going to continue off there. And Zayn, just like Braun, needs that victory.
I'm going to go on the opposite end of the spectrum here, and I think that considering what WWE has been doing lately, I think that it's, a clear bet to think that Strowman will win. Just by his sheer size alone, he'll be able to easily throw people over the top rope, but I am hoping for a Strowman victory in this. But two people that you and I are both extremely happy avoided the dreaded Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Cesaro and Sheamus. And by God, Maggle, did you see Sheamus' shiner above his eye? That big gash?
I think he should come in now with just an eye patch and the mohawk, like some sort of Mad Max thing going on.
Yeah, he would have this.
He looks like a Bond villain, and Cesaro's the Bond.
Yeah, a complete opposite. It's insane how good they work together. Mm-hmm. But do you think they have it in them to come away with the titles? Or Are you seeing a changing of the guards with Enzo and Cass coming out? Or will the club retain?
Sheamus has been a Money in the Bank winner.
You're
Let's
right.
put that in perspective.
You're correct.
Ladder matches are a game, but it's also about unity. Nothing about ladders says more about unity than holding the other up and trying to get that precious gold. So Club makes a very valid insert in there. And so does Cass and Enzo. I don't know too much how Enzo and Cass are going to pull it off. I think that the Club is going to retain.
That's a good prediction. The club has a lot going for them. I mean, the fact that they haven't been champion all that long kind of would be a swerve to put it on Enzo and Cass now, especially considering that Enzo and Big Cass have not won gold. To make it at WrestleMania, however, it would make it huge for them and their fans. And isn't that what WrestleMania is all about? Creating big moments. So I'm going to give it to Enzo and Cass. I think they'll do it. I think they'll bring it home. Sorry, Sheamus and Cesaro. I love this tag team going on, but it's time for a split. I think they should go their separate ways. Sheamus and Cesaro had enough matches together. We've seen them on television all the time together. Yeah. They need to move on to separate feuds. Cesaro possibly go to SmackDown and contend for the title against Bray Wyatt. Oh my God, that would be great. Mm-hmm. Speaking of SmackDown, the SmackDown women all have it out for Alexa Bliss and that coveted SmackDown Women's title. I, for one, think it's one of the most beautiful looking titles on both shows. I just love the blue and the white together. It looks really good. I don't think Alexa Bliss will walk out of WrestleMania the champion.
What?
Yes.
You're such a Bliss fan.
I am a huge Bliss fan, and I'm sorry to say, but I think they want to give it back to either Naomi or Becky Lynch. However, I don't think that they'll give it to Naomi because it is so soon that she's returning, and I completely think they squandered her return on SmackDown this past Tuesday. Oh my goodness. Yes. You could have got the biggest pop imaginable having the hometown girl return from injury to face Alexa Bliss and to defeat her in pure shock value form. Please, WWE, give me a booking job.
Yes, I'm completely with you, especially Naomi, because I think Naomi really would have got that big pop at her hometown, especially on WrestleMania. But my prediction, I'm going to go with the same as I've been for the last couple months. It's going to be James, just because of their feud with Bliss, and I think inevitably their torn, frayed, weird, odd friendship is going to lead Bliss into the dust. Carmella's a chance because she had a very valid win on SmackDown, but I'm gonna have to give it to my girl Mickie James.
Veteran, sitting in the throne again. When Alexa Bliss does lose that title, I do hope she moves over to the red brand of entertainment and challenges for the women's title. But if she does go over to the Raw brand, then she'll have to compete against probably one of 4 of these women for the title if she would go. Nia Jax, Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha. I am completely unintimidated by Nia Jax, especially since they try to bill her as a monster, but yet she's smiling and looking lovable in all of her pictures and vignettes and stuff like that.
She's just one of the girls.
Yeah, no character at all.
Yeah, I actually think that Charlotte's going to win.
I would like Charlotte to win.
Yeah.
I honestly would like Charlotte to win. But Charlotte has already had her rivalry with Bayley and with Sasha. Does this mean that if Charlotte wins, Nia Jax is going to be like, hey, I think I deserve a one-on-one match now, and then we'll get to see Charlotte versus Nia Jax for the next 2 monno? No, thank you. I would
Charlotte versus Dana.
God, I don't know what'd be worse. What would be worse? Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose is putting his title on the line against Baron Corbin, the Lone Wolf. I've said it many times. I'll say it again. Dean Ambrose is done. Baron Corbin's time is now for the Intercontinental Championship. Baron Corbin will have a tremendous summer and a tremendous run as Intercontinental Champion. My prediction. Maggle!
You know what? You know what's so funny is that I give Ambrose so much heat that he's not where he needs to be, and it's absolutely true. Corbin is everything that I think they want Ambrose to be. He's that radical, like hardcore, that almost like biker street cred guy, and Ambrose is not bringing anything new to the table.
You'll correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time that the Intercontinental title has been fought one-on-one at WrestleMania for quite some time.
Yeah.
I think WWE would be wise into continuing this one-on-one Intercontinental title bout, make it more prestigious. Say as prestigious as the United States title is right now. Press the gas now on that KO moment you had earlier.
Oh, baby.
Press the gas.
Drink it in, man.
Jericho versus Kevin Owens. This match is probably the reason why a lot of people will watch. They're looking forward to this match for the United States Championship. Kevin Owens is going to walk out champion in this. Where does Owens go from here? Enter Maggle. He says Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. I'm going to say Sami Zayn because they're going to resume their heated rivalry in NXT. What's going to be really cool about this match, though, every time we see a WrestleMania match with Jericho, it is on fire. We saw it with Taker, but we most importantly saw it at WrestleMania 19 when he faced Shawn Michaels in that extraordinary match where he just low-blowed him at the end after he gave him that hug and just ended with just boos, just parade of boos. Jericho is the world's greatest troll, and you see him in his personality, but not only that, but in his ring style. And you see him just do incredible things, even for his age. And it's going to be incredible to see what Jericho can pull out of Owens, as they're both... I'm not going to quite say that Owens is a legend, or that he's been wrestling for the same extent that Jericho has, but Jericho's going to pull out some things that Owens hasn't seen, and it's going to be neat to see what Owens does in retort. It's going to be the best, in my opinion, the best match at Mania.
The best wrestling match.
Yes.
I would consider Kevin Owens to be an elite level superstar, bar none. He has moves that no one has seen because WWE doesn't allow it. This man has the charisma of any of the greatest heels you can think of. Jericho is a legend. He's achieved that status, and he will show you why on Sunday.
Just to bring this in, Triple H's new big dog, Samoa Joe, and his contribution to this year's WrestleMania, if he has one. We know that for the last couple weeks, he's been involved with the Jericho versus Owens matches. What's your opinion on Joe's contribution to WrestleMania?
Will he interfere in the Triple H Rollins match or the Owens Jericho match, or a combination of both? Or will they just keep the lackey in the back? That last one I doubt will happen, Maggle. I think Samoa Joe will interfere in some way, shape, or form in the Seth Rollins Triple H match. Having Rollins come off a victory here, it remains to be seen. What about you, Michael?
Worst case scenario, he's going to be put in the Andre the Giant Memorial match. But I feel like he has no play anymore in this Jericho-Owens match. All the roads have led to WrestleMania. It's very possible he'll interfere with the no-sanction match. It's up in the air, man. But right now in my head, I feel like he's gonna be put in the Andre the Giant Memorial. He's just gonna destroy a bunch of people. He may get eliminated, but
he might win.
He may win,
and that would set a catalyst for this new faction. Winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, United States champion.
What's interesting about this too, the Andre the Giant Memorial we were talking about at the Royal Rumble too, is it's full of surprises. Joe is the first ever Dusty Rhodes tag champion in NXT. His partner is another expected superstar that may be returning as well, by the name of Finn Balor.
The Demon!
The Demon has backstory with Seth Rollins, so he may have a big influence later in that match too.
Maybe an alliance of Finn and Seth against Triple H, Joe, and KO.
Maybe Finn will be the fourth member of Triple H's new evolution.
Maybe apples and gravy.
What?
AJ Styles against Shane O'Mac.
There's going to be a lot of dropping from the air.
Good Lord, I hope Shane drinks a Red Bull before he
Have you seen how high that awning is on that Mania match? All I was thinking was, what was the first thing that Shane is going to drop from?
But I think this will be, like AJ Styles said, a one-sided match. You'll be able to tell Shane's lack of experience in the ring unless he comes out and surprises all of us. But you've seen, thanks to the WWE Network, the matches that Shane had in the past. It was always death-defying stunts and shocking the fans with how high he can jump and how crazy he can be. Now, it being a regular match against AJ Styles, who is probably the best in the company in terms of wrestling ability, it's going to be interesting to see how AJ Styles carries Shane.
Hey, but you know what? Even Mankind had some incredible matches with Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean? AJ is going to be my call for this win, which is going to be interesting because that means that Shane would have to walk on SmackDown the next week with his tail between his legs.
It would be interesting to see how it pans out.
I'm still amazed that Seth is in this match because he's going to be hobbling around, and you've seen how long this entrance ramp is.
It's going to take the entire Goldberg versus Brock match.
It's amazing how Seth is even going to be in this match with his bum leg. I don't get it. I feel like all signs point to Triple H just beating the crap out of Seth.
I agree with you. I think this entire match is going to be Triple H beating the hell out of Rollins' leg and Rollins writhing in pain. And every now and then Rollins will get up, do a couple moves to Triple H, and then it'll go right back down to it.
And that brings us to another potential match of the night for WrestleMania. John Cena and Nikki Bella versus Miz and the Flaming Hot Maurice.
The Miz has grown on me in the past 2 months just because of his feud with Cena. And I said before, Cena is an easy target, but that total Bella's bullshit was absolutely great. You and I were watching it on my sofa, and I was crying. I was laughing so hard when The Miz as Daniel Bryan came out. Utterly phenomenal, entertaining, very funny. Cena, on the other hand, was very aggressive.
Very.
Monster aggressive. He showed a little bit of heel side, didn't he? Mm-hmm. I love it. I love when Cena gets all angry and calling people pussies and all kinds of stuff.
What are you doing, shooting blinks there, champ?
Yeah, Becca checking him and everything. Look at that. Like, Cena, that's what I've wanted to see from you, minus the Thugonomics. I can't stand the Thugonomics gimmick.
I just want Miz to come out as Daniel Bryan during his WrestleMania match. Just like hobble with his little beard.
I hope Miz and Maurice pull off a win here because they need it. They're the ones staying in the company.
There's a big rumor, though. There's a big rumor that this may be the night that John Cena and Nikki get engaged.
That's right. You're right. And in that way, I do think that Cena's going to win. And come on. You know who we're dealing with here? Mm-hmm. Super Cena. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. Cena is going to win this match.
Not only that, but we also have one of the greatest commentators in wrestling history, Al Roker.
Christ. Oh. What? This is the East segment of WrestleMania, and I'll be honest, fans, I might go and use the bathroom during this match. I might go order a pizza during this match. I don't know. This is not an entertaining match for me, personally. But who do you think is going to have a grand entrance? Because you know every year at WrestleMania, there's at least 3 superstars that have a grand entrance. Always The Undertaker. You know Triple H is going to come out with some Metallica badass song. He's some kind of theme. It's going to look really cool. Who do you think is going to have a thematic entrance?
I honestly, though, I think that one of the big surprises, I think Corbin's going to have one of the coolest entrances as the biker gimmick, and I think they're going to do something cool with like his rock star gimmick. I think it's going to be pretty dope if they choose to go that way, or even Lesnar with this Conqueror. But what we've seen from Lesnar is he just comes out in his MMA trunks and
with Heyman at his side. I would like to see a Bray special entrance. That would be kind of creepy. Now that he is at the top of the mountain with all his followers surrounding him, going against which, hold on, I am sorry to deviate from the topic, but we have to talk about this. Mm-hmm. The winner of the Royal Rumble headlines WrestleMania. I'm sorry, Undertaker, I know you're retiring, but it should be that way. Yeah. I was pissed off when Alberto Del Rio won the Rumble and went on first on the card. If you're going to make it main event WrestleMania, make it main event WrestleMania. Advertise it like that.
You know what it's all about Roman. Because it should have been Taker versus Strowman at WrestleMania, and it shouldn't have been the main event. It should have been Bray versus Orton. Boo, Roman!
Roman versus Taker. Who do you got?
I don't think it's going to be Taker's last match. I really don't. That's partly because the kid in me doesn't want it to be Taker's last match. Because I don't want him going out with this kind of match. But knowing his hip, knowing his history and his lack of showing up and wrestling, he's getting older. I'm genuinely scared that this is his last match. And I'm more concentrated on that effort than the actual match itself, because I already know that Roman is going to be billed as this top dog, and he's going to pull off some spears and some Superman punches, and then there'll be some leg drops from the side from Taker, and maybe a pile driver or two, and maybe Taker will walk away. But
I hope Taker walks away with a win here, but my gut says Roman will, and I hate that. I hate saying that. I hate it. Another thing that I hate is the fact that this Goldberg versus Lesnar match is going to be very short. I hope to see a little bit more of Goldberg than we've been seeing, because I mean, they've been working to something. They knew back at Survivor Series that this was going to end at WrestleMania. Now, Goldberg's been working a lot with Curtis Axel, however. We'll hopefully see Goldberg take bumps and be able to stand up and deliver them in an entertaining fashion.
But I'm going to cut you off there. Goldberg has been known for the last Raws that he's been appearing, been a one-pump chump. He hit one finisher, and that was it. He didn't show a lot of beatings. He didn't show a lot of, competitive edge. It's just either a spear or a tackle or a clothesline, and then he walks away, holds his hand up in the air, and that's it. I really hope they pull this off as being a longer match, mainly for the fact that one of the scheduled commentators is the returning Jim Ross, and to see him for at least 15 minutes would make my Sunday great again.
I can't wait, by God, Maggle! I hope to see good old JR back in the game again, even if it was for one match. That man was the voice of my childhood, and I, as well as Maggle, like to send our condolences to him and his family. But back to the Universal title picture. Lesnar, definitely going to leave the champion.
I'm going to be on your side, and I'm going to say Lesnar, just for the sake of Lesnar is the beast, and he needs to return to being the beast.
Moving on to Orton, Bray Wyatt, which I feel should be the main event. Orton and Bray Wyatt, I see Bray coming out of this, hands down, still champion.
I'm gonna go with Bray too. And wouldn't it be cool? Because we were talking about earlier about how at least one of my dream matches would have been Bray Wyatt versus Raven from back in the day. Would have been a really tight match. It'd be cool if he had buzzards or some sort of just let released when he enters or something, follow the buzzards or just something really kind of cool with that.
Or maybe people dressed in creepy bird costumes.
Those sick Assassin's Creed kind of crow masks or something.
The plague masks.
Yes.
Yeah. And Maggle. That brings us to our segment, Superstar of the Week.
Give me a hell yeah!
Who do you have for Superstar of the Week for the Red Brand of Entertainment, a.k.a. Raw?
I'm going to give it to one of my all-time favorites, The Game, Triple H.
Dadgummit, Maggle.
Because nobody hits Seth's leg like Triple H.
I am going to give it, possibly for the last time ever, to the dead man, The Undertaker. We saw those little videos that he sent to Roman. That is classic fucking Undertaker. Showing the gravestone that read Roman Reigns, digging a hole for a Samoan soul.
Rest in peace.
Now for Smack Diggity Down. Maggle, tell me and all of the fans listening who you think should grace the cover of the SmackDown Superstar of the Week plaque here at Channel D Production Studios.
I'm going to give it to, not both of them, I'm going to give it to John Cena, actually, for that rebuttal on The Miz. That was just exceptional. And those jabs, and you're talking about how savage that was. It was pretty dope. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool promo.
Yeah, I really hate to give it to Cena as well, but just the absolute savageness of these promos that he's throwing out is Miz is bringing out the best of Cena that we've seen in a while, and I never thought I'd say that because
we would have never thought that about a year ago. We would have never even a couple months ago, you've been like, what?
Within the past couple months, I would say, in the past month or so, something has lit a fire on the Miz's ass. Now, it'll be interesting to see what he does once Cena's gone, if he can maintain this. I doubt it, because it's Cena, but we'll see. And honestly, I cannot stand Cena. I don't like his character. Not a fan of it. But I do respect him. And with that, gotta give him the SmackDown Superstar of the Week. Well, wrestling fans, that just about does it for us here at the 10 Count Podcast. The WrestleMania edition lasted a little longer because WrestleMania itself is going to be over like 13 hours long, probably. But we will be back next week for an all-new episode of the 10 Count Podcast. And let us know in the comment section below if you can guess whose theme song is at the end of this podcast. Last week's episode featured Damien Mizdow right after he broke up with The Miz for that brief period of time before he left the company. Please like and subscribe to Channel D Productions. Check out the other videos. They're hilarious. They're really, really entertaining. And please join us next week for us here at the 10 Count Podcast.
Kyle, hit that bell.